All right, I'm going to have Minoska monitor the chat in case you have any questions while I'm speaking. So let's get going here. All right, so my name is Adriana Kelly, and I am one of your academic advisors. And I'll let Minoska introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Minoska, and I am your second academic advisor.
So you're lucky you have two in this program. So if you can't reach one of us, the other one can help. We're basically here to assist in any way we can through your time during your program. Some of you are advanced standing students, and some of you are part-time traditional track students. But Minoska and I help both sets of students. So feel free to reach out to either one of us. If we can't help you, we'll certainly find the person who can. We just want to talk about a few things today, including what to expect in your classes. You're 3 weeks in. What's it going to look like in the next few classes? Kind of what are you dealing with right now? Things to think about with finances. If you receive financial aid, if you pay a different way, we'll discuss that. And then also with field placement. If you're an advanced standing student, that field placement is coming up next semester. But if you're in the part-time track, then you have a little bit longer until you have to start thinking about that. But we like to just cover what to expect with that process. So the first thing to talk about is what to expect in your classes. Most of your courses will run the same way as the orientation did. So you'll have access to a web course and you'll see on the left-hand side a list of items. You might see assignments, you might see modules, you'll see your syllabus, that kind of stuff. And every instructor has a different way that they like to present the material. Some instructors open up all the material at once, so you can sort of go at your own pace as long as you submit everything by its deadline. Some only open up one module at a time, so you can't move on to the next module until you've completed the one prior to it, or it's locked until a certain date. That's just how they work. We have this thing called Simple Syllabus now, which you might have access to. It's a UCF website where you can go and see the syllabus for any of your classes that you have. You can even look at upcoming classes, or if you want to see if this semester, if anybody's teaching something you'll be taking in the future, it's a really good tool to kind of see what's coming next. And we haven't had access to that until recently, so it's really cool and something I encourage you to check out. Um, Registration. So we registered you for your first semester in the program. That means we registered you for term one and term two. But starting in the spring, you'll enroll yourself in all future courses. I will give you detailed information on what you need to enroll in, the class, the section number, all that information, along with a course registration guide, probably around November. Early November is when we'll open up registration for the spring. So keep an eye on your UCF email because that is where I will send that. If you don't register, I will send you multiple reminders to tell you to register. So you'll be responsible for it, but we will provide you all the information you need so that you end up where you're supposed to be. You may have seen, or though it might not be there yet, but on your dashboard in web courses, you're going to have pressure to plagiarize module. You may also have a Let's Be Clear module. These are two mandatory modules that you must complete as graduate students, even if you completed them as an undergrad at UCF. So you may see them again and you're like, I just did this, but you have to do it again as a graduate student. So pressure to plagiarize module is about academic honesty and what happens with misconduct and how not to plagiarize. So it's very important that you complete it because a hold will be placed on your account blocking any registration if you do not complete it by the end of the first semester. The Let's Be Clear module is to give you some information about UCF's policies, including Title IX, anything about sexual assault, sort of what our role is in protecting you as UCF students, even if you're not on campus, where you can go for help. So those are two modules that you'll need to complete. And then another important thing to be mindful of is on My UCF, in your student center, you'll see a to-do list. In that list, you'll see items for financial aid if you applied for financial aid and need to complete something, but you may also see things that you need to complete for graduate studies. And one of those things will be your plan of study. If you see this item on your to-do list, you can disregard it because you already submitted your plan of study during orientation. So sometimes that doesn't get lifted until you're in your second or third semester in the program. So if you see it there for a while, don't fret. It won't turn into a hold or anything. It just kind of hangs out until the College of Graduate Studies removes it. But we have your plans of study. And if you don't have a copy of that, we can provide it to you. So just reach out, but there's nothing you need to do in order to clear that. So for financial, what to expect with finances, if you receive financial aid, you would have wanted to submit a 2024-2025 FAFSA. That goes directly to UCF, and then they package an award for you. At the graduate level, students are only eligible for unsubsidized loans. If you have exceeded your amount that you can receive in undergraduate and graduate education, there are PLUS loans. That's a separate application, and you would want to talk to financial aid directly about that. But things that you need to be mindful of are to accept your award amount. If you are awarded a ton of money and you're like, I don't need that much, I only want to cover the cost of my tuition, which is significantly less usually than what they'll offer you, you can go in and adjust the amount that you want to accept. They usually will offer $10,250, I believe, in the fall and the spring. And then there's a different amount in the summer. So don't feel like you need to save your funds that you receive in the fall to pay for spring or to pay for summer. Each semester is a new disbursement. Be sure to complete those to-do list items if there's anything related to financial aid there. And be mindful of our fee invoice due date. So you may see an earlier date, it would have been an August date that your tuition was due, but that's not the case for students in the online MSW. We have a deferred payment deadline, and that's actually going to be November 8th. Yeah, November 8th, Friday, November 8th will be your due date for tuition. If you pay by financial aid, that's taken care of automatically when the funds are dispersed. But if you pay on your own, or if you have tuition remission, or you have an employer pay, it's got to be paid by November 8th. If you have any experience with financial aid at UCF, you know that there are long wait times to get a hold of somebody in the financial aid office. So I always encourage students to contact your success coach, Barbara Bush, before you call financial aid. We'll talk a little bit more about Barbara and how she can assist you during your time in the program later, but just keep that in mind. Barbara is the best person to check with first, so you don't spend a long time holding for financial aid, because she's able to see areas of your student account that we can't, and one of those areas has to do with financial aid. So Barbara Bush is the best person to talk to about that. Let me see if there's anything else. One more thing to note is that if you are in the part-time track, which means that you're brand new, you're out of field, your funds for financial aid are not going to be released until the second term. So if you're an advanced standing student, or sorry, both of you, excuse me, I apologize. I forgot. Both of you cohorts are actually enrolled in 2 classes this semester, which means 6 credit hours. That means that financial aid, you qualify for financial aid, but because you won't start the second class until October, financial aid doesn't consider you fully enrolled until that's the start of the second term. What that means is that the funds won't be released until the add drop period ends, so around the second week of term 2. So that's when your financial aid will disperse, that will pay your tuition. And from then on, financial aid will release. If you're an advanced standing student, it will release after the first class for the spring, the fall, and the summer. The spring, the summer, and the fall. And if you are a part-time 3-year track student, then starting in the summer semester, it will begin being paid in the first class. I know that's super confusing. Please feel free to reach out to Minoska or me if you have any questions about that. But basically, if you don't see your money yet, nothing is wrong. It's just going to be deferred until the start of the second term. So we can definitely answer any questions you might have about that later in this, or if you want to send us an email later, we can address that. For field placement, you might have already seen this in the orientation, but if you're in the 3-year track, you will start your generalist field placement in next fall. So fall 2025, so your 4th semester in the program. So that means that next semester, our field education team will reach out to you to join a field placement process web course. In this web course, you will submit an application for field placement. And in that application, you'll basically say where you're located, what your areas of interest are. If you have a population of interest, you can include it there. And then any limitations you might have in your schedule. Like you know that you can't have a placement on Tuesdays. You can't go to your internship on Tuesdays. This is the place where you'll get connected with your field faculty member, and they will work with you directly to secure a placement for the fall. In your generalist year, you're expected to complete 10 hours a week, 8 to 10 hours a week at your agency, and you will be at your agency for a full year. So the 3 semesters of fall 2025, spring 2026, and summer 2026 will all be at the same placement. And then in fall 2026, you'll start your clinical placement and you will spend 1 additional year at your clinical placement. We have a lot of information on the advising portal regarding the field placement for both advanced standing and traditional track students. So please take a look at that. There's a lot of information there for you. If you're an advanced standing student, you've already started this process. So you would have had access to the field placement course, and probably in October, you're going to get assigned your field faculty to start working on a placement for the spring. You will be at one placement during spring, summer, and fall of 2025, and you're expected to complete about 14 hours a week at your agency. Again, there's lots of information on that advising portal, but also you have access now to the field director and field instructors. So more information is coming your way very shortly.
Okay, so getting connected. So there's a lot of different ways you guys can get connected to us and our department. So firstly, and probably I would say most importantly, is to check your UCF email daily if possible. We send a lot of good information to you all that way. Um, and we send, registration information. We send your intent to graduate information, any updates, any activities. So make sure to be checking that daily. Also, that's the way for your professors and faculty to be communicating with you if they don't already do so through web courses, for example. So definitely be on top of your UCF email. Secondly, you can connect to your faculty and your advisors, us, of course, but your faculty can always be reached via email as well. They typically have office hours, and you can find those in their syllabus. So make sure to look at that. And if you're having difficulty connecting with them, you can always reach out to us and we'll see what's going on and we can help you with that. Your success coach is Barbara Bush. She's really awesome. She's another person who's there to assist you all alongside us. Okay, so if for whatever reason you can't reach Adriana or myself, Barbara is also there to help you. And we'll talk more about her role in a little bit. Secondly, there's the online MSW advising portal. This is something really cool because on here we post different announcements, reminders about the semester, payment deadlines. We post job postings or volunteer opportunities on there. But also overall, it's just what we like to say is the 24-hour advisor. So if you can't reach us, it's evening, and you have a question, you'll likely be able to find that answer in the advising portal. There's a lot of really awesome resources on there. So make sure that you are utilizing that. Everybody should have been added to that as soon as they were, registered and matriculated into the program. If you don't have access to it for whatever reason, please reach out to us and we can, add you to that. And lastly, we also have a Facebook group, which is for current students and alumni. Again, this is a really cool thing we have so that you guys can get connected with each other. And we also do job postings and other opportunities. Alumni a lot of times post what they do, what they're doing after graduation, and the really cool jobs and opportunities that they're working on currently. So if you want to be added to the group, please let us know and we can do that for you. Okay, so next, connecting with us. So basically, our role as advisors is to support you academically and making sure you're doing well in your classes. So we're available through email, phone, on Canvas. You can make Zoom appointments with us, anything like that. Just let us know, and we are here for you guys. That's literally our role. We'll answer questions regarding your plan of study. If you need to take a break, we can work on you with that. If you're having issues, um, reach out to us. We can clarify any policies and procedures that the university, you know, uh, wants you guys to follow. Also, any questions about classes, the professors, you can reach out to us. We can help go over any academic requirements. And just if you're having any challenges overall in your classes that might affect your performance in the future and you're concerned about that, make an appointment with us and we can help, mitigate that and work on that with you ahead of time, to prevent any issues like that. Okay. And lastly, our awesome success coach, Barbara Bush. If you haven't already connected with her, it would be really awesome to do so now. She's literally your coach. That's their role is as your coach. She is there to help cheer you on throughout the program. You can schedule an appointment with her similarly, like you would do with us via Zoom or appointment, email, whatever you want. But she's there to basically work on strategies to help you meet your academic goals so that you are successful in the program. She's a really wonderful person to go to for resources and organization tools and tips to help you do well in your classes. The online program, it's a lot, and there's a lot of reading and there's a lot of work you need to do. So when you're struggling with how to organize and keep on track, she's the one that we would recommend you guys to go to. Um, Basically, she's also going to provide you with a lot of different university resources. As online students, it might seem scary and like you don't have as many opportunities as the in-person students do, but that's not true. And Barbara's definitely there to connect you to those campus resources. But as an online student, and like I said, she's literally there to encourage you all the way until you graduate. So we like to say she's your coach from application to graduation. And she's really wonderful. So definitely reach out to her if you haven't already.
So we'll make sure that we put Barbara's email and contact information in the email that we send to you after this event so that you'll be able to reach out to her if you haven't done so already. But that is the end of our presentation. So now we're just kind of here to answer any questions you might have. You can put them in the chat. You can feel free to unmute yourself or put your camera on, whatever you'd like to do. We're happy to answer any questions you might have. And if you don't have any questions, that's okay too. You can feel free to send us an email or give us a call, set up an appointment to meet with us at any time. We hope to have another session, not just for new students, but for all students later in the semester. If you are in the part-time traditional track, not advanced standing, hang in there through your first class. We know it can be a lot of reading and a lot of quizzes, and it might not seem super fun. Um, we just want to tell you that that is not how the rest of the program will go. Um, and you will have a better experience. Not that you're not having a good experience, but it will be a different experience in your future classes, more interactive with your instructor and your cohort mates. So hang in there, and if you have any questions about that, or if you're concerned about the classes, please let us know. So we have a question in the chat. When does my enrollment get verified with my student loan provider, or am I not eligible for deferment based on halftime? I believe you are eligible for deferment based on halftime. The verification of enrollment happens usually after the add drop period. However, because we have this unique 7-week class system, your verification will not be completed for the entire semester until after the start of term 2. So right now, your enrollment will show that you are in 3 hours, which is technically not even half time. You have to be enrolled in 4.5 hours to be considered half time. So if your loan provider sees it now, they're going to see that you're only enrolled in one class, you're not active in two. So if you have any trouble with that, we have a specific financial aid contact who is very familiar with our program, and she can provide you assistance with that. I haven't heard of any students not being eligible for deferment based on that issue, because typically by the time the the verification is checked, you're already in your second term class. So it doesn't usually present a problem, but if you are experiencing any issues like this, let us know. Um, but I will say after the add drop period is when the verification should be available to your loan provider. So that's all we have for you today, but we'll hang out for a few minutes in case anybody has any questions. Oh, let's see. For clarity, we will be automatically enrolled our next course for the semester. For this semester, yes, you have already been enrolled in your 2 classes. So your first class is running from August to October, and then your next class will start in October, mid-October, and you're already enrolled in it. So you don't need to do anything for that, but in the next semester for spring, I'll send out the registration information so that you can enroll yourself. And I'll do that every semester. Miriam asks, do any scholarships exist that we can apply to? We don't have any current social work, School of Social Work scholarships that are available, but Barbara is a good person to connect to because the UCF there's a UCF area where you can search for scholarships, and she might have ideas depending on your background. There's scholarships for all kinds of students. So she's a good person to connect to see if there's anything out there that you might qualify for, and she can send you information on where to search for those. We occasionally have graduate assistantships that are available, and we'll be sure to post that on the Facebook group as well as the advising portal so that you know when applications open. Anything that we share on the Facebook is also shared on the advising portal if it relates to current students. So if you're not on Facebook, don't worry, you're not going to miss any important announcements. We'll make sure that you get those. Minoska, do you want to take will all of our courses be in 7-week increments?
Yes, they will. That's the nature of the program. So every semester it will be 7 weeks. The only thing I would say is your field. Once you begin field, that is going to happen throughout the year. So if you're a part-time student, that'll be your second and your third year. And then for advanced standing, that will be starting next semester. So that's the only thing that doesn't follow the 7-week schedule.
Those courses will last the length of the
Mhm.
semester.
Yeah.
So it'll still kind of work like the 7 weeks because you won't have assignments due every week. They're typically every other week. So thank you for coming. If you think of anything else, feel free to put it in the chat. We'll stay till about 1:30, but you can also send us an email. Nice to see your names. Let's see, do we have a timeline when summer classes start and end? We don't officially have the calendar for the summer, but they typically start around the second or third week in May, and they run through August. Um, Usually it's May to early or late June and then July to August. So once we get the dates, though, we'll send out an academic calendar for everyone to see those. Do you automatically have to do a clinical internship if you're advanced standing? Yes, we are a clinically specialized program. So that's the area where we place students. They're all clinical internships if you're advanced standing. If you're a part-time 3-year track student, you'll start in a generalist placement, which is not a clinical setting, and then you will do a clinical internship in your final year of the program. Well, we wish you good luck this semester and let us know if you're oops, sorry, just one more. I keep wrapping up, but we got another question. I'm not sure if this is a question for you guys, but although we're online students, are we able to get a school ID? You absolutely are, and that's a really good point to make. I will send that information in your email. There's a link where you can go and request it from Card Services at UCF, and they'll mail it to you. Thanks for joining us.